Today we're going to talk about being captives and changing to children of God. And that transition is something you can look at for a whole slew of different examples of that. But today I'd like to center in on a couple things. Who are we captive to? Or what are we captive of? The ways of this world, the devil, the non-godly things that go on in this world. We become captive to it because it's the way we have lived, it's the way our friends are, it's something, and we get drawn back to it. Well, I can't change this. It's like people saying, I can't eat unless I have meat. It's that kind of thing. We become captive to the worldly ways. Well, how do we become children of God? And I can only think of one verse in the Bible that really talks about that. It said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God." And if we think about that, it really is saying the same thing. Because if we truly love God, that means beyond everything else in our lives, beyond anybody else, our families, everything, then we have this love and compassion for the whole of God's creation. And if that's the case, then we have to look at what peacemakers are. Well, peacemakers are those who love God and want to bring peace to every human being, every animal, and the environment in which we live, this earth. So if that's the case, and that's the way we think, we can't bring harm, because what's happening to animals in, like going to slaughter and being raised for food, that's not being a peacemaker. That's not bringing the animals peace. Being a warmonger and wanting to see who gets bombed and all of this, and all of the things that are going on in the world around us, is not being a peacemaker. Because who are the ones that suffer the most? The innocent civilians. There's the ones that are, quote unquote, collateral damage. The way the military looks at the civilian populations. And then there's others that deliberately target the civilian populations. So you can't be a peacemaker and accept that any more than you can accept what happens to the animals. Now, what happens to the environment? All of those problems pass off to the environment, and it causes problems. So if we're going to transition from being captives of this world, the ways of the devil, to becoming children of God, we have to start living as children of God. If that's what we want, then we need to live it. And that example may draw others in. We can't cause any pain or suffering or death to any other living being or the earth. Now, we know the earth is suffering from being too hot. So you have to look at that. What causes it? What are we doing? And we're seeing more volcanic action again. We're seeing loss of ice caps. All of this is hurting the earth. So we have to start thinking about it, what it means to be a child of God. It means to leave the ways of this world, the standard ways of this world, and become godly. Live as peacemaking children of God. That's all there is. Amen.